Brantley Gilbert and Amber Cochran seem to have the perfect marriage now, but the shocking truth is they went through a bad breakup that many people don't know about. From substance use issues to family drama to a pretty crazy affair, you won't believe the truth about Brantley and Amber's split. Most country fans think that Brantley and Amber are the classic country couple, but the real truth is it's a miracle that Brantley and Amber's relationship survived a shocking breakup and scandalous cheating rumors. They grew up around the same small town in Georgia, and the first time Brantley met Amber was at a church youth group. Brantley and Amber became fast friends, and soon they started dating. But did you know that Brantley and Amber are like the Romeo and Juliet of country music? Brantley came from one side of the river, and Amber lived on the other side. They went to two different high schools, and the fierce rivalry between their high school football teams was so crazy that friends and family did not want Brantley and Amber to date. But there's another side to Brantley and Amber's dramatic and scandalous love story, because Brantley was a bad boy and a troublemaker in his youth. Shockingly, he wasn't attending that church youth group because he wanted to. He had to, because Brantley was fulfilling a community service obligation, and you won't believe why. Brantley suffered from a drinking problem and a dependence on substances since he was a teenager, and Amber's mom wanted her to stay away from him. Apparently, for 5 long years, Amber's mom kept throwing shade at Brantley. It got so bad that Amber couldn't take it anymore. She broke up with Brantley, but the heartbreaking truth was, Amber still loved him, and she never stopped loving him. Sources with inside knowledge claim that Brantley desperately wanted to change his bad boy ways, but shockingly, he was so self-destructive, he couldn't get better by himself as much as he wanted to. In 2008, a devastating moment in Brantley's life forced him to change. At this point, Brantley and Amber had been split up for over 3 years. But even though Brantley thought he would never get Amber back, and if you ever saw where Brantley grew up in Georgia, you would see proof of that with your own eyes. Brantley had a big house built on his property in Georgia. It was so large that he knew that Amber would notice it from her house. So whenever Amber came home to visit her family, she would also notice Brantley's huge house across the river and think of him. It's crazy that doctors told Brantley he might not live to see his next birthday, because in 2008, Brantley got rushed to the hospital with a severely inflamed pancreas. Brantley's drinking problem had gotten to the point that he was endangering his life, but it still took 3 long years for him to get sober. At the end of December 2011, Brantley had his last drink. He's been free and clean ever since. If you think that Amber knew about this and they got back together, you won't believe what happened next. Brantley met fellow country singer Jana Kramer. Jana's crazy love life is still a hot topic these days. She's been engaged more times than you can count. But did you know that Brantley is one of the guys she was once engaged to? They announced that they were getting married in 2013, and Brantley and Jana started living together. Sources with inside knowledge weren't so sure that Jana and Brantley were the real deal. And shockingly, their short-lived engagement ended after just 7 months. Although Brantley always knew there was another side to this story, because he'd never gotten over Amber, and shockingly, Brantley has also confessed that many of his songs contain secrets. There are many pieces of Amber in Brantley's music. All you need to do is listen to Brantley's songs, More Than Miles, or You Don't Know Her Like I Do, and you'll get a little bit of inside knowledge about how Brantley never stopped loving Amber. So when Brantley reconnected with Amber following a scandalous breakup with Jana, you would think that was the beginning of Brantley and Amber's happily ever after. But the shocking truth is, the rumors and allegations were just beginning for these star-crossed lovers. Shockingly, Amber was married to someone else when Brantley came back into her life. Amber's first husband was Brock Rowland. They got married in 2012, a year before Brantley and Jana announced their shocking engagement. But Brantley and Jana's engagement ended in August of 2013. Listen closely, because this is when the scandalous rumors began about Brantley and Amber. Shortly after he broke up with Jana, Brantley got back in touch with Amber. Amber and Brock had only been married for a year, and sources with inside knowledge allege that Brantley and Amber began an affair. By March of 2014, Amber filed for divorce from Brock. Shockingly, Amber alleged in her divorce filing that Brock was harming her mentally and physically, but Brock gave another side to the story. He countered with Amber's divorce filing with his own allegations. Brock alleged that Amber had committed adultery, and the other man was Brantley. The timing of these rumors was unbelievable, but somehow it all worked out for Brantley and Amber. By the fall of 2014, Brantley had proposed to Amber, and she accepted. Shockingly, Brock and Amber's divorce got settled too, and Amber was officially divorced by October of 2014. June 28, 2015 was the day that Brantley had waited his entire life for. He got married to Amber at home in Jefferson, Georgia. Amber and Brantley were now husband and wife, and they wanted to become a dad and mom too. But the road to having a family was also filled with heartbreak for Brantley and Amber. They had difficulties conceiving, and sources with inside knowledge claim that Brantley and Amber might be unable to have children naturally. So when Brantley made a shocking announcement early in 2017, it was like the best news of all. Miraculously, Amber had gotten pregnant, and on November 11, 2017, Amber and Brantley welcomed their first child. His name is Barrett Hardy Clay. Brantley and Amber were obviously delighted to have been blessed with a healthy son, but they made another shocking announcement in March of 2019. Amber had gotten pregnant again, and this time, Brantley was even more shocked to learn the truth, because they decided to have a gender reveal party for their second baby. And while Brantley was convinced that Amber was having a boy, the reveal proved otherwise. And on September 9, 2019, Amber gave birth to a girl they named Braylon Hendricks. So Brantley and Amber beat the unbelievable odds. They're happily married and have 2 great kids, but one of Brantley's biggest hits was inspired by the most heartbreaking moment of his life. Even though Brantley has confessed that many of his songs contain pieces of Amber, his 2018 hit song What Happens in a Small Town is all about the terrible time when Brantley and Amber split up. Brantley has revealed his side of the story. You won't believe the pain and heartache that Brantley had to relive when he wrote the lyrics to that hit song. What Happens in a Small Town was Brantley's first duet with a female vocalist. She is fellow country star Lindsay Ell. Sources with inside knowledge have revealed what it sounds sounded like when they heard Brantley and Lindsay singing the song. Their voices blended together perfectly, and the lyrics were gut-wrenching. Shockingly, Brantley's drinking problem also inspired what happens in a small town, and the heartbreaking lyrics revealed exactly what Brantley was feeling at the lowest point in his life. Brantley described the song in an interview. He said the song builds and burns. It's filled with the want for something you can't have, and the emptiness of living where they had been before. When you hear the song, you understand how it felt for Brantley to live without Amber, and the heartbreak of believing that he missed out on the love of his life. Thankfully, Brantley and Amber got their happily ever after. They came out stronger after going through many ups and downs. But anyways, what do you guys think about their story? Did you know about Brantley and Amber's breakup and possible affair? Do you think Brantley and Jana were a good couple when they were together? Let me know in the comments below.